Hi, I'll show you my first opening and first look at this cylinder. I'll be calling it the plumbus engine. So let's see what the plumbus is going to look like. Let's start by opening the box. It fits a H372 December cylinder kits, diameter 50 millimeter, G758-VV362. If you have any questions, hit me up. As I'm just opening, it's kind of like Christmas. Start by looking at the gudgeon pin. Here's our gudgeon, and let's just get some measurements from the stock gudgeon pin. Bearing pin. Let's go metric. More people are familiar with metric. Inside pin, 12.18 millimeters on the outside. On the rollers, we are 14.87. That's funny. I just bought this, and somebody called it, what they call it? A jog bearing, and I paid so much more for it. That's funny. Okay, let's look at it. And then let's do what I call mapping the cylinder. This is what I do. And here is our gasket. When I first get a cylinder, I break out my looking spectacles, my A, and a ruler. All this information I'll play back when I'm thinking of the cylinder and designing how I want it to work. Let's open it up. And this is the one that goes with the Meteor. This is the piston kit, Italian made, cable rings, everything like that. So those rings look like your standard rings. 1.5s definitely, I believe. Your standard rough pin, just like a China kit. Your SUR clips that are the ones that are too long and you have to cut the tails on. Okay, let's go with the stock piston first and drop it down and look at everything. For some reason it's storming outside, huh? So at least I can turn off the fans. The first thing I always want to know is cylinder depth. The first thing I will always measure is cylinder depth. So let's measure the cylinder depth. Check out the coolness right there. We have a perfect port there that goes all the way through the cylinder. That could be used for certain things if you wanted it to. Another thing there, but let's map the cylinder. Okay. Our depth is 68 millimeters. We have a short depth of only 68. So definitely a short rod. 68. 68 millimeters depth. It's very important to remember that from the bottom of the transfers to flat. Looks like somebody's already adjusted the squishy once from the factory. I can see where it's been adjusted. See how part of it's been cut and the other part isn't. This part is the casting, the original. Okay, let's just double, triple, quadruple check that. You guys can confirm that, and I'll look on the video later. But to me, that looks like 2 millimeters less than 70. Try and get an angle for you that you guys can see. That's what it looks like to me. Right? That's our cylinder depth. Okay. Next thing, let's measure our nice giant monstrosity of an opening there for the intake. See how huge it is? Let's get a measurement of that. Inch and a quarter, but I have better tools to do that. But I will measure the distance right there in between there. Let's get some piston dimensions compared to the Italian one. And see, wow, the difference is amazing. 1.67, 1.68. Let's go to metric. Everybody knows metric. Fractions, metric, 0. 42.82 on the length of the piston skirt. 42.61. 42.66. 42.64. 42.53. 42.5. Compare it to the Italian made. Measure to the first ring. I have 3.33 to the first ring, 3.39 on the back, 3.34 on the intake side. Look at the difference. Let's do our heights. One ring. One ring. Okay, let's get our measurements on here. We are 42.46 on the Italian. On the Meteor, we are 42.48 on the back side. Let's do on the intake side. I'm just double checking everything because all this stuff. 42.47 on the intake. And on the Italian, it was 42.54. So a little bit shorter on that. On the Italian made. All this information is going to help me later on if you're wondering why I'm doing this and saying it out loud is because I will be watching this later. Hey, diagnosed my issue. Goddamn, let me stop everything here in a minute and let's listen. What did you solve, buddy? What was your problem and how'd you fix it? Crappy clutch pads were slipping. Okay. Yeah. Everybody's like, why didn't they adjust that at the factory? They don't start your engine at the factory. It would never be able to get on the boat if they pressure checked or if they put fuel in the engine. Their captains do not like things that have flammable things on their ship. They're kind of picky about that. But how's it running now? Now your new bike won't start. Hey, why are we going to the second bike already? Why do we already have a backup one already, man? Jeez, I knew that feeling, dude. I gotta have a backup. Okay, let's do the important thing of finding where we want to put this and everything. I've never seen somebody miss the gasket by so far. That's a trip. It just it's got a front and a back. I get it. Not really though. There we go. Bam. With a chainsaw cylinder, you will have a front and a back. It's very important when you're making spacers and anything like that, because if you get it mixed up, you might end up having a ramjet like your engines, and you learn new problems, new situations. Let's get our distance in between our studs. Distance in between the studs are 64.57, 65.65. from outside to outside, going that direction. Let's check the other side to double check. 65.87. Let's do a spread check. Man, I like that a lot better than a steel cylinder. Look, that is going to fit on our intake so much better. See how we can put it past that point? That nipple, it's got a better nipple. Holy cow. That's going to fit much better. Way much better. But back to mapping the cylinder. And even after adjusting, it still slips. Okay, you'd like an episode on clutches. Great. I have a couple of Doug clutches, and I would sure love to get Doug on the show. Doug knows more about clutches than any man on the planet, I think. He sits there and figures out how to put hydraulic clutches on a China doll. Yeah, me too. Talking to the neighbor real fast. Uh-huh. In the rain. Raining. Okay. Okay, your clutch is slipping. What you really want to look at is where your pin sits. Pull off your flower, pull off that, and make sure it is out at least an eighth to a quarter of an inch. If it's not, you unscrew here, you stick a screwdriver in there, and then you turn these three wheels, and you can adjust the internal spring inside. If you're all the way in or all the way out on your flower gear, this is your flower. And if you're all the way in and it's still slipping, then that's what you can do, is adjust the internal spring so you can pull more. What's easy to really tell is if this little guy right here isn't sticking out an eighth to a quarter inch past and it's like inside, that means that it's too far one way or the other and you're slipping because the plate's not pushing up against it hard enough. Another good sign is if you have this too tight. A lot of people will set it like that. And my clutch is slipping. Well, yeah. This should be loose. I mean, your cable from here to here should not be super tight at all on your clutch. You should get enough movement from your springs that you don't have to set it tight. A lot of people, they'll ask me, it's not working, and I'm always asking them, how tight is this, your clutch cable? You want it loose. But let's talk transfers. Our transfer widths are 39.52. 39.52 on that side. 39.5 on this side. So roughly 40 millimeters is our transfers. Okay. Let's do our base. This is our base. See if we're going to do billet or if we're going to do the other. We're 71.71 that way. The widest part, we are 80. Really easy on a billet. Fit on a billet, no problem. Let's see how it fits on the China doll first, though. Leave the pig first. Come on, give me a drop. Only miss a drop. Now you're gonna fucking drop. Lightning, thunder. Oh, I got some. Okay, I see the page. Yes, I'll go step on the page. Okay, but will you spread this oil out on the cylinder for me then? Sorry, B. It wasn't my fault. Swear somebody else made me kill you. I hope the Honeybee Association don't come after me and be like, "You're a killer. You've destroyed the honey supply of the world."
That's a yellow jacket.
It was a yellow jacket? Okay.
Yeah.
Yellow jacket. It really wasn't. A lot of people are going to jump to the conclusion you need new clutch pads. And usually when people are complaining about a clutch, it's because it's too loose. See how tight that fits right there? There's no play in it. There's very little play in a rocket. And usually if you have play there, usually they sorted you one or two bearings out of your clutch. What you want is a precision bearing in your clutch like Doug makes. I'm just greasing it up, and then I'll put it on the cardboard and let it drip out a little bit. There was some green stuff. A good source for clutch pads is Doug. Doug has every single clutch pad. Doug Owens, he's on Facebook. He has every single clutch pad material on the face of the planet. He just sent me some that are like brake pads. Or Ryan also has some too. Ryan's the other guy who has brake pads. His brake pads are like a real brake shoe, and you only use 6 of them or something like that. Because I was looking for a source. Okay, let's figure out spacers. Okay, we're gonna have to go with a wider case. So let's grab the billet. Billet, or 38. 38 is pretty wide. 32, 38. 38. Cut for 38. Long rod, but if I need a short rod, I'll go with a hybrid, shortest one I can get. I think I was just playing with one that was pretty long. Okay. Locate the studs, no problem. That'll even fit on a China doll. I can surface it down and put it right on top. I don't even know why people were saying you can't, the thing that blah, blah, blah. That's fucking easy shit. Yeah. There's the plumbus stuff, and you got a case. Oh, here's your clutch. I'm sorry, let's get back to your clutch, Pepper, if you're still around. There's your clutch pressure plate from, that's from Ryan. He makes these, he turns them in his shop, and those apply a lot more pressure. And underneath I have a Doug Owens, I'm bleeding, sorry. A Doug Owens, clutch. Watch this baby when you pull this. That's the difference between a precision clutch and the China doll piece of crap. Here it is. Right. Okay. There's the billet case. I'll need this to do the plumbus. I'll put the plumbus on one. I have two. I'll give one the and yada yada yada. Pull the pin. Stick it on. Put the thing. Put the short rod in instead of the long rod. I have a hybrid right here. I was just playing with this morning. That one was really, really short. What do we have here? We have a ZAF 60. Bam. There is your rod for the plumbus. I guess I'll do a hybrid ZAF 60, or I'll check it out. That should be the height. Transfer build out ports will be pretty damn easy on a billet case. Just match it, put it up. Let's talk transfer pay, or this is my paper gasket, made in America. There's your numbers right there. Gasket number and everything right there. Made in America. Really nice stuff. Let me turn out the bright light. I will go over all these numbers that I just spouted out, and I'll take any questions or anything. I'll draw a design of the base gasket, cut it out, do the billet case. Here's my other billet case right here. Aww. Nice. Here's my other billet case. Right there. And I will do this on a billet case. I think it'd kick ass on a billet. Look at the size. Wait till Cody makes me a pipe for that fucker. Wow. The thing is huge. That's bigger than let's map it. Forgot to map the intakes. Good source for the pads are Dozons. Another good source would be Mastercraft. They sell all the material and everything like that. I could give you a web page or whatever. That's where they're buying most of the stuff. But it's better to contact them. They've spent like tons of time researching it. They have all the answers for it. They could save you hours and hours of research. They could save you so many lost minutes on the internet searching for that perfect clutch. I mean, if anybody has done more than that is Doug. I mean, some people watch certain things on the internet. He's watching ways to make new clutches, and he's doing it. He's a pioneer. I mean, I don't even touch a clutch because I know he's so far advanced than anybody else on the planet right now for clutches. Okay. That rod, I think that's the shortest stroke I got. I just look at it and turn it to figure out if I have a short or long crank. I know that's short. I can just feel it in my bones. I can feel it that's a hybrid. Usually 50s and 60s are, 80s and 40s aren't, and all that. ZL rods are usually short. There are a couple ZLs that are long. So all that. But that would be the best source I could find for you. This is my cylinder. I'm going to call the engine the plumbus. I'm getting stickers made. I love all this shit. It's pretty sweet. I like it. I definitely like it. I'll finish mapping it after I go over all the numbers that I did today. Thanks for watching, and thank you very much for your questions, Pepper. I appreciate all your questions. I'm glad you got the first one running, and I'm glad that you're to your next hurdle, which is clutches. A lot of people have hurdles with clutches. Usually people that are heavier have hurdles with clutches than light guys. Like a lot of builders are like, how come he never has all the problems I have? Well, if you weigh 200 pounds or over 195 pounds, you're going to have a lot more stress than somebody that weighs 125 pounds. The smaller the engine, the better, the lighter the rider. The bigger the engine, the less your weight even matters. Here's my billet. I got to order some more clips because I'll be building 2 at once now. Because I do want to put it like that. And that's what it'll be. That's the engine I want to build right there. Everybody's asking, what engine do you want to build? There you go. I want to build that. And that's what it's going to look like. Right there. I'll put the shortest rod I can possibly find on it. I will cut the squish as deeply as I possibly can go. I'll be doing all that. And thanks for watching. I don't want to go over 30 minutes because I do ramble even to myself. And thank you for tuning in. I appreciate any thumbs up at all. And have a great night. Happy weekend. It's a weekend. Thank you.